Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Priyanka Neela Krishnan show. And today is episode 13 that says your AI assistant is the perfect insider threat. Yes, today's topic is on AI oversharing and the data security layer almost everybody skips. I want you to imagine the single most dangerous person you could possibly hire. Someone who, on their first day, has already read every file you can technically open, who never forgets a single thing they saw, who will cheerfully answer any question about any of it instantly, and who was hired specifically to be helpful so nobody ever questions the access. You did hire that person. You just call it your AI assistant. I am Priyanka Neela Krishnan, and this is Enterprise Security, episode 13. The last three episodes were about who can act. Today is about what they can see, and in some ways, it is the scarier half of the story. So, let me make this concrete. Picture that new hire again, and the four things that make them dangerous. Number one, on day one, they have read every file you can technically open, not the files you actually use, every file you have permission to reach, including the ones you have never once clicked. Number two, they never forget. Number three, they will answer any question about any of it instantly without hesitation. And number four, the whole reason they exist is to be helpful so nobody on your team questions the access. They wave it through. That is your AI assistant, your co pilot, your enterprise chatbot. And here is the thing I really want you to hear. The scary part is not what you told it is what it can find. Let me give you three prompts. If you have an AI assistant connected to your company data, you can run these yourself after this video, and I could encourage you to definitely do it. Prompt number one: what is the highest salary at this company? I'm encouraging just to making sure that you white hat it and figure out that things are safe. All right. So, yeah, coming to prompt one, what is the highest salary at this company? And prompt number two, what is in our M and A pipeline? Prompt three, show me anyone's performance review. Here is the uncomfortable finding. In roughly 80% of enterprise tenants, the assistant just answers if it's not securely protected. Not because it got hacked, not because of some clever exploit, but because that data was already overshared, sitting in some folder the AI had permission to read, and the AI simply made it findable. The salary file was always there. Nobody ever went looking for it. And now everybody can by just asking. And this is the reframe that changes how you should think about the whole problem. The AI did not give anyone new access. Read that again. Because it is the crux of it. It did not grant a single new permission. What it did was turn on the lights and made it clear, easy to get, easy to understand, easy to access. Before AI, an over-permissioned employee might go to their entire career and never once navigate to that SharePoint site they technically had access to. The access existed, nobody used it, it was dark. Dark data. The assistant changes that completely. You ask a question and it goes and retrieves and synthesizes everything you're technically allowed to see, whether or not you would ever in a million years have found it on your own. So, the model is not the problem. Your permissions are. The AI just took a decade of quiet accumulated oversharing and made all of it instantly searchable in plain English. And the scale of that quiet oversharing is genuinely startling. Concentric AI, in their data risk report, found that 16% of business critical data is overshared. On average, that is around 80 sorry. On average, that is around 802,000 files at risk per organization. Not total files, at risk files per company. EPC Group audited 47 enterprise Copilot deployments and found that 80% of tenants had material oversharing exposure, the kind that would surface salaries, M&A details, or customer. What do you mean customer? Customer PI information through a very simple prompt before anyone had to put guardrails. And here is the root of it. In a typical tenant, fewer than 15% of documents carry any sensitivity label at all. So the security tools that depend on labels are flying blind across the other 85%. The data was a mess long before AI showed up. AI just walked in and turned on the lights. Now, you might be thinking, but I bought the tools for this. I have data loss prevention, DLP, I have labeling, and you do. The problem is those controls were built for a labeled world, and most of your world is not labeled. 3 gaps. First, labels do not inherit. A SharePoint site marked confidential does not automatically label the files inside it. So, the AI looks at let's say the AI looks at an unlabeled file and treats it as completely fair game to read and quote. And second, data loss prevention only sees what you already classified. It enforces policy on the data you took the time to tag. It cannot protect the 85% you never got around to. Number 3, the logging is off by default. Out of the box, you only see that an AI interaction just happened. Not what sensitive data it surfaced, not for whom. So those information is not there. You have to turn on a whole separate layer to even know. And none of it reaches Slack or Salesforce or Google Drive or the personal ChatGPT account running on someone's corporate laptop. And I've been saying Copilot, but please do not hear this as a Microsoft problem. Every AI you connect inherits exactly the same issue. Take Shadow AI. When the sanctioned assistant feels limiting, employees quietly paste the same sensitive data into their personal ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini, which sits completely outside every control you built. Take autonomous agents. They act across systems with no human in the loop, which expands where sensitive data can get surfaced, exfiltrated, or recombined far beyond a single chat window. And take indirect prompt injection. Hidden instructions buried inside a document or an email that the AI reads can hijack what it does, which means your own data plane becomes part of the attack surface. This is real enough that the US House of Representatives banned the commercial version of Copilot for its staff over data leak concerns, and around 70% of security teams say they are worried AI will expose sensitive data. The instinct is correct. The question is, what do you do about it? So, Here's the part that ties this back to everything we have talked about. You cannot label your way out of this one file at a time. There are too many files. The mess accumulates faster than any human can tag it. What you actually need is a layer almost everyone skips, and it has a name that's called Data Security Posture Management, DSPM. The idea is simple. Know where your sensitive data actually lives, see who and what can reach it, fix the exposure, and then enforce at the data layer itself. Think of it as the missing half of a pair. The last 3 episodes were all about identity governance, which answers the question who can act and with what permission. DSPM answers a different question, what can they see? And AI needs both, because if you only fix identity and skip data exposure, you still have an assistant happily reading everything nobody ever bothered to classify. The two questions are different and you have to answer both of them. Alright, so what do you actually do in order? 4 moves, and the priority order matters. Find it, discover, and classify your sensitive data across the whole estate, and pay special attention to that 85% sitting unlabeled, because that is where the risk hides. You cannot protect what you cannot see. Again, you cannot protect what you cannot see. Fix the oversharing and do this before you expand the AI rollout, not after. Kill the anyone with the link shares. Okay, right size the everyone groups. Clear out the stale guest access. And third, label and enforce. Apply sensitivity labels at the item level, not just the site level, and add prompt level data loss prevention so the assistant refuses regulated data going in and coming out. And fourth is watch it. Turn on AI observability so you can actually see what the assistants are faced, for whom, and from where. And honestly, before any of this, just run those 3 test prompts yourself. Ask your own assistant what the highest salary is. The answer tells you exactly where you stand. So let me bring it home. The temptation when you see all this is to blame the AI, to say the assistant is dangerous, lock it down, and slow the rollout. But that is the wrong lesson. AI did not create your data problem. It just exposed it. For a decade, the entire industry shared first and secured later, quietly betting that nobody would ever actually go looking through all of it. And that bet held right up until we handed everyone an assistant that goes looking every single time instantly in plain language. So the fix is not to ban the assistant. The fix is to finally do the thing we kept putting off. Know where your sensitive data lives and know who can reach it, right? Here is your one test. Before you expand your AI rollout any further, ask it, what is the highest salary here? If it answers, you do not have an AI problem, maybe. You have a data problem, and now you know exactly where to start. Identity governs who can act. Data posture governs what they can see. You need both. I am Priyanka Neela Krishnan. If this was useful, subscribe and stay tuned. I'll see you in the next one. By the way, everything here is my own opinion and analysis, not tied to or representing any employer. Alright then, see you in the next time. Take care. Bye.